There is a specific frequency of silence that radio astronomers listen for. It's the sound of a dead channel, hissing, static, the leftover noise of the Big Bang. For most of human history, that is all space has been. A vast, empty ocean of noise. But sometimes the silence breaks. Sometimes a needle jumps off the record. A flash of light that isn't light. A radio wave so precise, so powerful, that it seems to defy the laws of nature. And when these signals arrive, they force us to ask the oldest question in the dark. Are we alone? The story begins on a humid August night in 1977. In Delaware, Ohio, the Big Ear radio telescope was scanning the skies. This wasn't a telescope you looked through. It was a construction site of plywood and aluminum, built into a natural depression in the ground. A volunteer astronomer named Jerry Amon was reviewing miles of computer paper, each page a log of radio noise. He was looking for anomalies, the signature of a passing satellite, a distant quasar, or perhaps an alien sun.
Then he saw it. A vertical sequence of alphanumeric code that looked like a mistake. It read 6EQUJ5. In the language of the Big Ear, the letters meant intensity, and this signal was a U. That meant the radio wave was 30 times louder than the background noise of deep space. It was a spike so bright, so narrow, that it seemed to come from somewhere manufactured. Jerry Amon circled the anomaly, and in a moment that would define astronomical history, he wrote a single word in the margin. Wow. The wow signal lasted exactly 72 seconds. It came from the constellation Sagittarius, and then, just as fast as it arrived, it vanished. It never repeated. For 50 years, the wow signal has been the white whale of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Because here is the detail that keeps scientists up at night. The signal was broadcast at 1420 megahertz. This is the hydrogen line. It is the frequency of water. It is the song of the universe's most abundant element. If you wanted to send a message across the galaxy that said, "We are intelligent," you would send it on 1420 megahertz, because any physicist on any planet would be listening there.
In 2025, a team led by Dr. Hector Socas Navarro digitized the old Big Ear data. They revealed that the signal was moving faster than we thought, 46 miles per second. It ruled out a lot of natural noise, but it also ruled out a lot of human error. When asked if it could be aliens, Dr. Socas Navarro gave a chilling answer. He didn't say no. He just said, "We haven't found the rock that threw that stone yet." The case of the wow signal is technically still open. The wow signal was a ghost, but 30 years later, we discovered poltergeists. In 2007, astronomer Duncan Lorimer was digging through archival data from the Parkes Observatory in Australia. He was looking for pulsars, the spinning corpses of dead stars. He found something much weirder. He found a burst of radio energy that lasted less than 5 milliseconds. 5 milliseconds. That is faster than a blink. To be that short, the source had to be tiny. To be that bright, the source had to be unimaginably violent.
Lorimer did the math on the dispersion measure, that is, how the signal smears out as it passes through space dust and gas. The number was astronomical. The signal hadn't come from our galaxy. It had traveled billions of light years. In the time it took that burst to reach us, the Earth was just starting to form oxygen. They called it a fast radio burst, an FRB. And for years, the astronomy community thought it was a glitch. It was too energetic. There is no known event that can generate that much power in that short a time. To generate an FRB, you need to compress the energy our sun releases in 3 days into the span of a single heartbeat. It is the equivalent of shouting so loud that you outshine every star in your galaxy for a single second. For a decade, we only found these bursts once. They would explode and disappear forever. Then, in 2016, everything changed. A telescope in Canada, the Chime telescope, which looks like half pipes on a snowboarder's ramp, found a repeater. An FRB that didn't just fire once, it fired again and again. Inconsistent, erratic, but definitely coming from the same place.
This changes the math. If a signal repeats, it cannot be a catastrophic explosion like a supernova, which destroys its source. A repeater implies a survivor, a machine, or a magnetar. A magnetar is a neutron star with a magnetic field a quadrillion times stronger than Earth's. It is the closest thing to magic in physics. But is a magnetar powerful enough to warp the fabric of radio waves across the universe? Maybe. But there is another theory. The Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics proposed a speculative, terrifying hypothesis. What if FRBs are leakage? What if they are the exhaust from alien starships, specifically massive light sails powered by planet-sized transmitters? If you were a super civilization trying to move a starship the size of a continent, the radio leakage would look exactly like an FRB. It's a long shot. But unlike the WOW signal, FRBs are happening right now, thousands of times a day. Just when we thought we had a handle on the deep space signals, the signal came home.
In 2019, a project called Breakthrough Listen was scanning our closest neighbor star, Proxima Centauri. It's just over 4 light-years away. On a cosmic scale, it is across the street. They found a narrow-band signal at 982 megahertz. This is the magic zone of the radio dial, a frequency usually reserved for aircraft and satellites. But this wasn't from Earth. The press called it BLC-1, the Breakthrough Listen Candidate 1. Unlike the WOW signal, this one shifted in frequency. It drifted. That drift is the Doppler effect. It suggests the source is moving, orbiting a planet. For weeks, the team was in lockdown. Was this the one? The first confirmed radio signal from an extraterrestrial intelligence? They did the only thing scientists can do. They tried to prove themselves wrong. And they did. After months of analysis, they concluded that BLC-1 was likely radio frequency interference, a stray signal from a human cell tower, a satellite, or even a malfunctioning microwave oven in the break room that just happened to drift across the sky at the right time. But here is the truth of the true story. Even though BLC-1 was a false alarm, it terrified the astronomers because it passed 99% of their tests. If a broken microwave can sound like an alien to our best instruments, how will we ever know for sure? While the institutions debate, the obsession belongs to the individuals. Meet John Shepard. For 30 years, from his grandmother's living room in rural Michigan, Shepard built a homemade radio observatory. He called it Project Strat. He wanted to contact aliens so badly that he erected a 150,000-volt output stage in his backyard, made from a dismantled ski lift and army surplus parts. He beamed jazz music, John Coltrane, Sun Ra, into the void. He believed that intelligence would recognize the improvisation. Most scientists dismissed him as eccentric, a dreamer. But John Shepard understood something they forgot. Radio astronomy is a lonely business. You spend decades listening to the static, hoping for a sign that you aren't alone in the universe. John Shepard never found his signal, but his transmitter is still out there, floating through space, carrying the sound of a human voice towards the stars.
In 2024, the narrative shifted again. We stopped just listening for the sound and started looking at the source. The Chime telescope has now cataloged hundreds of new repeaters,
And specifically, we found FRB 2024-0209A. Why does that one matter? Because it is coming from the edge of a galaxy, the outskirts, the graveyard. For years, we thought FRBs came from the messy, busy centers of galaxies, places where stars are born and die violently. But this one is in the suburbs, a place where there are no young stars, only old, cold, dead ones. This suggests the FRB engine isn't a young star dying. It could be a magnetar, but it could also be something else entirely, something that survives for billions of years, something hardy. Which brings us back to the wow signal. Just last month, research led by Professor Abel Mendez offered the most compelling natural explanation yet. They proposed that the wow signal was a Mazur's flare, a hydrogen cloud hit by a laser pulse from a magnetar.
It is elegant. It fits the data. But note the date, 1977. That means the natural event that caused the biggest scare in history happened to look exactly like the transmission we were hoping for. As of the recording of this documentary, the wow signal has not been explained by natural means to universal satisfaction. And the fast radio bursts, we know they come from distant galaxies, but we don't know how. Every second, your body is being hit by radio waves from the edge of time. Most of it is the cosmic microwave background, the echo of the Big Bang. But a tiny fraction, a tiny whisper, is the unknown. We have built ears the size of football fields to listen to this whisper. We have heard the screams of dying suns and the hum of spinning dead stars. But we still have not found the intelligence. And yet, the signals keep coming. Every day. The mystery is not whether we will detect another signal. We will detect one tomorrow. The mystery is whether we will understand it.
The universe is 13.8 billion years old. If an intelligence lives on a planet orbiting a star in the Andromeda Galaxy, and they looked our way right now, they wouldn't see us. They would see a barren rock full of dinosaurs. We are listening to the past. We are hoping for the future. And for now, the silence between the signals is the heaviest sound there is. We are still listening.